Linwood Forest. Forest is my grandfather. He was a Marine, and it's also the name that we gave my son. And Linwood is my buddy Troy and Scott Butler's father, and he was also a Marine. So Linwood Forest. I was tried for a long time to think of a name for this place, and I came up with some pretty dumb ones. Yeah. I wanted it to have a ring to it, or So when we put Linwood Forest together, and we took in the nature of 80% of this course is in a pine forest, it just kind of worked out, and then Linwood rounded it out. So I think it rolls off the tongue okay.
Our lens focuses on Exmoor, on the eastern shore of Virginia. Meet the people and hear their stories. This is the history of Linwood Forest.
All right, so I'm Pancake Willie, and I live on Linwood Forest. We're sitting, my backyard is hole 18, and I got like a 500-foot walk to my first tee at hole 1. The blockhouse 5-6 years ago when I first started golfing. We were out there for like 2 weeks, something like that. We were camping out for 2 days in May, I believe, and then I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money, so I stocked up on things that I knew I could just eat for like 2 weeks without having to keep going back and forth to the store. So the group I was with, like every morning they wanted to like go out to eat and keep spending money. I'm like, no, man, like I'm here to eat and play golf. Like that's all I got, budget for. And I was like, look, man, I got like 2 boxes of Bisquick, a gallon of milk. Like I was just going to eat pancakes every day. And then I kept bugging them. They kept going out to eat. And finally, like 3 or 4 days into it, they're like, fine, Will, you can make pancakes. And then I busted out like 6 stacks of like 10 pancakes tall, like blueberry pancakes, strawberry pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes, like, and they were all cooked perfectly. Like I didn't mess up one pancake at all. Like not even like the first one you normally burn a little bit, you overcook. Like all of them were perfect. And then ever since then I've just been Pancake Willie to that group. I think Chuck Connolly made a song about it and everything.
Oh wow.
So I'm Pancake Willie, and I just ran with it because there's a lot worse nicknames to have. The first time I played disc golf was probably like 15 years ago or something. Like some friends randomly just handed me some disc, and like we just went to Indiantown Park and played, and then once or twice, and then it was like fast forward to 6 years ago. And that's when I really got into it. I found myself with a lot of free time, and then I was just hanging out at the park. I found those old discs that I played with 10 years prior, and then Putter Paul found me.
Oh wow.
Like I was just out there by myself, just like playing, and then this blonde-haired hippie dude comes out of the woods. What's up, man? And then like I did not know how much that conversation was going to change my life, dude. So that's what got me into it. And then like 6 months later, I was at the Blockhouse for the first time, and then a few months after that, I was at the first USDGC. Like I had been to. Like we were working in the kitchen, and then it just went from there. I ran the Eastern Shore Virginia Disc Golf Club. I was the president for 2 or 3 years in a row. I run all the PDGA events over here. I vend with Chuck Connolly and Discraft, and I've worked several Pro Tour events. And like you said, I jump into it, man. And if I find a spot that I can fit in and something cool and fun for me to do, I'll do it. I grew up about 2 miles down the road from here. My dad and I used to hunt this property. It belonged to some family friends. I think somewhere around 2006, 2007, my dad ended up buying this property. And then it's just, my dad ended up passing. And then I ended up building the house here. My mom lives on the other side of the property. She's actually the groundskeeper. She does most of the grass cutting. So it's just family property, man. And then I knew pretty quickly after I started golfing that I wanted to build a course to 67 acres. Very, very fortunate in that aspect that I could just do it. I've been working on the course for 5 years. I knew, like I said, when I started golfing that I wanted to build a course. I wanted to own and run a course. So I bet I'd been golfing 7-8 months when I started designing this thing. Originally started with like a 4 or 5 hole loop, and then it grew, and then it grew, and then I got fortunate enough to have access to a Bobcat, and then that's when the big picture came in. That's when it went from just like a little 9-hole tiki short 200 and in golf to like, you know what, I want some 500-600 foot holes, man. And I just, I ran with it then. I've had tons of help from day one.
Okay.
I mean, it started with Putter and Marcia, and then we had the Butler brothers. I've had tons of support. My buddy DJ has spent more hours in here than I have almost. Tons. I'm forgetting some people. I've had a bunch of work days. I've had a ton of help. Certainly wasn't me by myself by any means. These targets, my buddy Mike Barnett, who runs Sun King down in Brooksville, Florida. He ran hers a TD4, or however it works out, for Throw Down the Mountain. So in 2017, when Paul McBeth was shooting really, really hot that year, he set the course record, and then he beat it subsequently every single round. These are actually those baskets. I drove down there, hung out Sun King for a couple days, bought them, loaded them up, and then I went and worked the Discraft 10 at the Hall of Fame Classic that year, which was the last year they ran that. And then, I brought them home, set them up, and then they just slowly worked their way out here. So it's just a nice little bit of history I got. Well, I knew I wanted to own a course, operate a course, so I just started paying attention. I noticed traveling, working Pro Tour events and stuff, I got to see a lot of like Halk designs. I did International Disc Golf Center. I got to like walk and play all those courses. Like when the Hall of Fame Classic was there, I got to follow and see, and then like I just paid attention. I bought as many books and read as many things online as I could. We've had 2 or 3 community centers pop up 9-hole courses. I had my hands in that, and I've helped design a couple private courses. As far as designing this course, I did a lot of it just from the seat of the Bobcat. I was like, I don't have one of these yet, and then I would just start designing it, and then I would walk through and like fine tooth it after that. But my favorite to play is 11, just because I sat in the thing and I was just like, what would Mikey do? Like, how would he design this hole? And then I was just like, well, I don't want to make it easy for anybody. So I just made this really slow, sweeping right turn like the whole time. And the angle's tough and touchy for everybody. Yeah. I mean, I've seen all kinds of different throws from left hand and right hand players. And it's rewarding when you get it. And then hole 16 is just pretty to look at. And it's, you can lace that nice long hyzer flip and push straight down a fairway. It's beautiful green. The sun's at the end. I mean, that's a cool one too. But it's par 64 now. And with a few tweaks and stuff, we're pushing 7,000 feet. I don't know the exact distance because I keep changing things. I want to say the first person that came out here and shot under par was Kev Gleason in a practice round before a tournament. He was the first one to push it like under 4 or 5. Maybe Jason Abernathy, I think, shot 1 down at one point. Those 3 guys were the first names that popped up under par, but it definitely took a long time. I reach out to all the pros after the tournament and I ask for feedback. Especially, I mean, this would be the 3rd year of running events, but like after the first year, I was like, all right, what do you guys think? And then I take a lot of people's feedback into consideration. I at least pick through and find the constructive feedback. Initially, a lot of people were saying things like, it's too long, it's too hard, it's too tight, it's too whatever. And then, I didn't look at that as constructive. And I was like, well, the whole point of building a course like this is to make people better golfers. But once it gets down into, I think this 350-foot hole would look better as like a 420-foot hole, push it back a little bit, tuck it a little left, tuck it a little right, do things like that are tweaks and actually increase the quality of playability. Like I take that stuff into consideration. And then also, like I reserve the right to say no and leave things. Hole 5 is a little quirky, but it's one of my favorite holes. So it's kind of like a trouble shot off the tee. So stuff like that, I'm just gonna leave because it's my right to leave it, kind of deal. Like it's just adds the challenge to it and my little bit of personality to the design. I didn't want the course to favor any one particular handed style or golf style in general. Like I didn't want a bunch of hyzers and then a bunch of anhyzers and then a few straight shots. Like I wanted long straight shots with dog legs. I wanted slight turns. I wanted to make you uncomfortable. I wanted you to force you to throw a few things that aren't normally in the game. And one of the biggest compliments I get is like when I get like 900 plus rated golfers or pro golfers that come through and they're like, dude, I had to use every disc in my bag. Oh yeah, aces. We were talking about how hard it was for people to get under par. I've only got one ace out here in the 5 years of the varying lengths of the holes and everything. Like just one ace, and that was DJ on hole 2 during a league night. We've had tons of people hit metal, skip off the tops, hit the cage, but only had one actually go in the years that it's been open. So the irony of it being him was I said the first 3 aces out here, you get a lifetime membership. And there was already someone that had a lifetime membership because of all the work he put in on the course. So there's 2 more lifetime memberships out there for anybody that wants them. Right now, I think I've got like 5 trees marked to come out, and we got 5 more tee pads to pour. All of which I'm trying to have done in the next couple months before the 3rd Linwood Forest Open comes through here. So as far as my vision, like I'm almost there, man. Like I've been pushing towards it, and I think now it's just finish these last few changes and then let it play and see how it plays. Give it a year or 2 to open up some more and the roughs clear out. And I have a couple ideas for tweaking holes and stuff, but I think the next focus is going to be to put some short tee pads in, shorten this thing up, make it a little more MA3, MA4 friendly. So that's what's on the horizon. Most of them have some source of inspiration. Hole 10 was after a hole in W.R. Jackson. Hole 11 after some of the holes I played at Darkside and the Blockhouse. Hornet's Nest had a big input on like hole 16 and the finish of hole 1. There's tons of inspiration I've pulled from different places. I know hole 13 I totally have redone, and it was after watching the Veterans games on Lake Marshall, which it's a crime I still haven't gone out there and played yet, but I saw like one of the holes is just this huge sweeping snaking hole through the woods, and I was just like, I've got to have one of those. And then I just got in the Bobcat and went and started knocking trees down and made a 300-foot hole 200 foot longer and just kept working at it. I would like to run some A tiers and stuff out here and see where it goes. We've been running a B tier out here. Hopefully we'll get a multi-day event. Just keep feeling it out. There's so many great courses all over the country now, and I don't think there's going to be any shortage of them to continue popping up. Like when I started this, Lake Marshall didn't even exist, and now they've already been a stop on this tour. So I'll manage my expectations, But I would like to run some more events, some bigger events, maybe get something akin to like what they do out of Paw Paw for the West Virginia Open, like just have a nice big weekend where kind of deal. Once a year, everybody comes out, fill the course up, but I'm a little limited by only having one 18-hole layout, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Just working on things for the future. The new Tournament Central you're going to run up and park, and then this is where check-in's going to be, and then I'm going to store my gator and all my tools back here. Little outdoor kitchens going in here, some electric for the campers. All these camping spots are cut out. Get an outdoor shower hooked up, and then just slowly making improvements, man. This is what that $5 everyone pays for a greens fee. This is the kind of stuff I use it for. If I wanted to make a profit, I definitely picked the wrong thing to do. So it's like every little bit helps work towards goals like this, or just make it more fun, more pleasant to run, more pleasant to experience. It's gonna be a nice little roof spot where we can check out hole 18 as everybody's putting out and Yeah, where you're walking over here, there's gonna be a deck that comes off of where this open wood is, and then the shower head. It's gonna be kind of closed off, and then deck space. I got a little doggy door here so my dogs can get in and out, and then lost and found, bulletin board, wrap around deck, maybe the burn pit's right there, and it's just gonna be the central hub for the course and for hanging out. Give it a little bit more like just a nicer vibe to it.